I bow to all the seekers of truth. This song that you are listening to has been written by a poet called Namadeva about 16th century. And what he's singing there is, "Oh Mother, give me my yoga." Yoga means the union with the divine. I said, I bow to you all because you are seekers of truth. At the very outset, one has to know that truth is what it is. You cannot change it, you cannot transform it, you cannot conceptualize it, and unfortunately, at this human awareness, you cannot know it, whatever you may try. If once we humbly understand this, that we can go up to our mental projections and not beyond that, truth has to be known on your central nervous system. In the evolutionary process, whatever we have known it on our central nervous system. For example, if you bring a dog or a horse and he sees this beautiful hall, he won't understand. If you take him through a dirty lane, he won't understand. He can just pass through. But while we human beings have developed a kind of a sensitivity to so many things. Also, we should have developed sensitivity to spirituality. But sometimes we miss the point. Now, whatever I'm going to tell you should be taken as a hypothesis. But you should have an open mind of a scientist. If it is proved, you should accept it, if you are honest. And one must know that it is for the benevolence, your benevolence, as well as the benevolence of your country and the benevolence of the whole world. But to understand this, I have to tell you it's not meant for idiots and stupid people. You have to have some amount of IQ to understand that we have to achieve our selfhood, our spirithood. What's the matter with both of you? Why are you laughing? Will you please go out? There's nothing to laugh. Will you please behave yourself? So one has to understand that evolutionary process is absolutely free, without any effort, and you can't pay for your evolution. It is spontaneous. Like you have this Mother Earth, and you put the seed in it, then it sprouts by itself. What do? Nothing. It is spontaneous. And that's what exactly happens to you. That spontaneously you achieve that state of the spirit. When we say, this is my body, this is my mind, this is my ego, these are my conditionings, We are all the time saying, my. But who is this I to whom all these things belong? We have never questioned this. This I is the Spirit. So the first truth is that you are the pure Spirit. And the second truth is that there is all-pervading power of divine love, which does all living work. For example, these beautiful flowers, we take them for granted. Who runs our heart? We never ask this question. If you ask a doctor, he'll say it's an autonomous nervous system. Who is this auto? If you ask them, they won't be able to answer. So science cannot answer many questions, and one of them is that why are we on this earth? What is the purpose of our life? What is the goal of our life? What is our identity? This question is not asked. And if asked, they cannot answer. They cannot answer this simple question, why are we on this earth? But one has to know that we are on this earth to become the Spirit, to enter into the kingdom of God. This is our purpose. That's why we are here. And then to be the instruments of that divine power which is all-pervading. This divine power has been described in many ways. Patanjali has called it as Ritambara Pragya. In the Bible, it is called as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. Also, it is called as the all-pervading power of divine love. In the Quran, it is called as Ruh. In the Indian scriptures, it is called as Paramachaitanya. The civilization in the West has grown very big. It's like a big tree outgrown its size. But we must find out our roots. I do not make difference between East and West. So we must find out our roots, whether it comes from East or from West. The knowledge today I'm going to tell you about is the knowledge of our roots. You have been already told about the centers and about this power that is called as Kundalini. This power is placed in the triangular bone, which is called as sacrum, which means Greeks knew about the center. They very well knew about it, that's why they called it sacred sacrum. In many countries, there has been a manifestation that they know about this particular power. I happened to go to Colombia, where I collected an authentic antique copy of the antique necklace. The necklace had at its bottom a kundalini, and even the earrings had the kundalini. But surprisingly, it was from the Indians of America, found here with the Indians of America. Though it is now kept in the museum in Colombia, it was in America that people knew about Kundalini definitely. Absolutely in 3.5 coil, they had done this pattern very well. It's very surprising that it was done even before Columbus came here. So this knowledge was known to people, I think, all over the world. But then gradually it subsided. Especially in India, till the 12th century it was kept as a tradition just to give realization to one person. One guru and one realization. There was not a sort of a mass realization or anything, and they didn't even talk about it, they kept a secret. But in the 12th century, one great poet called Ganeshwara. He wrote in his book Ganeshwari, 6th chapter, about Kundalini. He took the permission of his guru and he wrote it. But still they denounced it. And they said that this is something not to be read. Because they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to raise the Kundalini. They didn't know how to give realization. So the people who were at the helm of affairs said they denounced it. Don't read this chapter. Then in the 16th century, we had many poets in India who have written about it. Guru Nanaka, Kabira, Ramadasa, so many of them have written about this Kundalini awakening. Many then Tantrikas came up who tried to misuse the word and misuse the whole thing and deceive people by telling them false things. There are so many false people who came to your country, and I feel ashamed about them, those who came in this country. But also, you people are to be blamed in a way, because you should have used some discretion. When I came first, you'll be surprised, in 72, they asked me funny questions. In Boston, I was there for an interview with the television, and they asked me, not on the television, but before that, how many Rolls Royces you have. I said, I have no Rolls Royce. So they said, are you not in the business? I said, this is no business. This is something else. So they said, we don't believe in a person who has no business, and we'll not give you any chance on the television. People were so materialistic. And they said, you are not taking any money, so it must be something hocus pocus. So superficial they were. I was very disappointed, and I said, I'll never come to this country. And I didn't come for 9 years. Till some people who were here, who got interest, and they told me, Mother, better come now. It's going to be better than what you found it in 1972. So I came here. So one has to understand that it's a living process, and you cannot pay for it. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. But if you desire, all of you can get your realization without any difficulty. It's a very simple thing that happens to you. When this Kundalini passes through these 6 centers, it nourishes it, it integrates it. Also it enlightens them. By that our physical, mental and emotional, spiritual problems are solved. Most of the global problems are because of human beings. And most of the human problems are because of these chakras or these centers within us. So if you can cure these centers, you can definitely cure human beings, physically, mentally, emotionally, and also spiritually. But then it is connected. The yoga takes place with this all-pervading power, and the light of the spirit shines in your attention. Then so many things happen that you are amazed how fantastic you are. These are all your dormant powers which start manifesting. One thing one should know, that there cannot be any gimmick about truth. There cannot be any sort of a false pretenses about it. It has to be straightforward and simple. But I have known people who have been doing all kinds of things, like people paid 300 pounds for a mantra. I mean, this in India nobody would do. Thank God we are not so rich to waste our money. 300 pounds for a mantra, you don't need any guru for that, a donkey can do it also. And then, after that, somebody says you can raise yourself from the grounds and about 3 feet you can fly. Already there's jam on the roads. Why do you want to have such people flying at 3 feet? They'll be hitting all the cars, I think. But people paid 6,000 pounds for such a nonsense. They broke their bottoms and had all kinds of problems, and they have been to me with epilepsy. So all such stupid things people have done without even thinking. Now there's a new thing they have started showing, a pendulum can move with your mind power. It's nothing but mesmerism, simple. But we have to know what is our value? What are we here for? Are we here just to move pendulums or to fly in the air? Why are we here? That's why at the very outset I said that Sahaja Yoga is not meant for idiotic or stupid people. It's a complete logical thing which is tangible. You can find out. For example, I said that physically you are cured. Yes, of course. There are 3 doctors, one of them is here, who got his MD in Sahaja Yoga, which showed you can cure incurable diseases like asthma, epilepsy, and also physical fitness. 3 doctors got this. And there are many doctors who are doing this research all over the world. You will be surprised that in Russia there are 2,000 doctors who are practicing Sahaja Yoga. I must say, for your information, Russians are tremendously sensitive to spirituality. They threw out all false gurus, everything. I don't know, maybe our freedom has led us into a mess like this. Freedom without discretion can be very dangerous. That may be the reason we are now finding lost as far as our society is concerned, as far as our children are concerned. In every way, we are confused. But there's a way out from all this, which is very simple. And the way out is that your Kundalini is to be awakened. That's very simple, I told you, because it is built in. It's your own power that is going to work it out. No obligation, there's no commitment, nothing. As far as you are a human being, that is sufficient, because you are at the epitome of evolution. We do not know our value. We don't even think why God made us human beings. We just accept ourselves as human beings. But there are so many problems and so many confusions that we don't understand what's going on. One of the reasons is that we do not know the absolute truth. Somebody says this is right, another says that is right, somebody says this is right, and they're fighting. They believe in it. They believe that this is right, that is right, and they fight. All kinds of wrong ideas have been managed to exploit us, to befool us, and to lead us into the path of destruction. We are getting destroyed from within, if you see. All kinds of diseases, unknown diseases are coming up. Our children are getting ruined. Families are getting ruined. What is the reason for this decline? Within these 30, 40 years only, such a decline has come. What is the reason? The reason is, one of them is that our indiscreet freedom. And the second one, I think, is materialism. As I told you, they asked me for a Rolls Royce because they can't understand anything without money. This is the most absurd thing, that they believe that spirituality also can be bought with money. You can purchase your guru. You can retain him. You cannot. So what happens to you when you get your realization is, first, you feel a cool breeze on your fingertips. Also, you feel a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area, which is the actualization of your baptism. It's actualization. And Sahaja Yoga is becoming. It is not just a lecture or explanation or a sermon. It is becoming. Means you become something that is already described, that you are to be born again. Now, if you just certify yourself as born again, you are not. It's just a false certificate. If you are born again, you have certain powers and you become a saint. You have to be a saint if you are born again. You become a Sufi. But if that doesn't happen to you, you cannot just certify yourself as born again. Any certificate they are like this is just a brand. For example, it might be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, anyone can commit any sin. It's just a brand. It's nothing inside. So what happens to you that you become a righteous person? You can't do wrong things. You cannot do things which are irreligious. You just don't do it. You don't get tempted to do anything. On the contrary, you enjoy your virtues. Your attention becomes absolutely innocent, without any lust and greed. And such a person, even a glance of such a person, can bring peace. The source of all this is this all-pervading power of divine love. So you are connected with that power. Once you are connected with that power, it starts flowing through you. And when it starts flowing through you, you can feel it. Then it makes you grow. As a result, you know the absolute truth on your fingertips. Even children can know the absolute truth on their fingertips. There are people who don't believe in God. They come to me, I said, all right, ask a question, is there God? 3 times. And they get the cool breeze. Then I just say, there is God. Then they get a tremendous stream of cool breeze. Thus you can make out also your own centers. What's wrong with your own centers? Is there any problem in your center? Immediately you can find out on the fingertips. Many people who are about to go for a heart attack or for some sort of a serious cancer do not know they have. But a Sahaja Yogi will immediately know that his center is catching, and immediately he knows also how to correct it. So you can have self-knowledge about your own centers and you understand. Today only one gentleman came and told me, Mother, my agya is catching. Means that I am egoistical. Nobody would say that I am egoistical. But he just came and told me, Mother, my agya is catching, please correct me. That means you yourself know that this is happening within yourself and you know how to correct yourself. So you become the doctor, you become diagnosis, and you become the medicine. It sounds very fantastic, but it's a fact. Then the second thing happens to you, that you get the knowledge about others' centers also. You know about others. Sitting down here, you can find out what are the centers of any person. Immediately you can find out. Once you find out the centers, if you know how to correct them, you can correct also others. So who is the other? The microcosm becomes the macrocosm. Then we have another problem always, that we live in the future or in the past, never in the present. If I say, come to your present, you cannot come. It's very difficult for you to come to your present. So, what's the reason is that we are thinking of the future and the past. One thought rises and falls down, another thought rises and falls down. In between these thoughts, there is this vilamba, is what we call the present. When the Kundalini rises, she elongates the thoughts and this space increases and you become thoughtlessly aware. Thoughtlessly aware. You become, again I say, you become. There are no thoughts, but you are absolutely aware, which is also described by Jung, that after realization you become thoughtlessly aware. That is the time you are absolutely at peace with yourself and with everything else. That's the time you are peaceful in the real sense of the word. I've seen people getting many awards, peace awards, of peace conferences and all that. I know them, but surprisingly they are extremely hot-tempered. And if you have to talk to them, also you have to take a barge pole in between because they have such a temper. I don't know how they got these peace awards and things like that. But you find them all around, such people who have got peace award without any peace within. So you have to have your peace within yourself. And this you achieve through thoughtless awareness. The another thing happens to you, that you become the witness of the whole drama. Say, if you are in the water and there are waves, you are afraid of it. But supposing you get into the boat, then you watch these very carefully, you can watch them, also you can enjoy them. But supposing you know how to swim, then you can jump and save many people. So like this, into two stages you rise. The first one, when you rise into the boat, when you are thoughtlessly aware. And the second state, which we call, is a doubtless awareness, which is called as Sanskrit language, it is called as Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The first one as Nirvichar Samadhi and the second one as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where you have no doubts about yourself. You know that. You know all your inner knowledge. You know about your inner being, and you know about the inner beings of others. This knowledge we have to know, and it takes hardly any time for you to know. Hardly, I would say, even 1 month is sufficient. But what I've seen, that people have to be deep to go into it. Normally, once they get realization, they feel extremely relaxed, peaceful, then finished. But it's like a seed being sprouted. It has to grow into a tree. They get lost. First, some disease they have is cured, then they come out with another disease. Second year, I come back. So one has to be determined about it in the beginning. Then you cannot leave it because you enjoy it so much. You know that you are now in the kingdom of God. When I was in Russia, there was this coup going on. I asked the Russians, I said, aren't you worried about this coup? They said, Mother, why? We are in the kingdom of God. Why should we worry? This is Russia. We are not worried about this Russia. Just imagine. What a faith, what an understanding. And this they didn't say like a blind faith, but enlightened faith. And this enlightened faith comes to you very easily because you see everything is tangible. Life becomes blissful and joyful. The another thing that happens to you, that you jump into the ocean of joy. So far, we have never known joy. We have happiness or unhappiness. Whatever pampers our ego, we'll feel happy, or which gives us some emotional satisfaction, we feel happy, and then we feel unhappy. So we jump from one to another. But with this, we are in the ocean of joy. Now, you'll be surprised that Sahaja Yoga is working in 55 nations. I'm sorry, to Philadelphia I've come for the first time. I wanted to come, but I was so disappointed when I came here in 72. We had only 4 people for the program. Such a big hall and 4 people sitting there. So I said, better not go to Philadelphia, maybe the same style. And out of these 4 people, the other day one gentleman came and told me that you cured my father's eyesight in 1972. I said, maybe, I don't remember all that. But he was one of them who came. So you can imagine how now the awareness for spirituality is growing. You see so many people. So many people that I'm amazed myself this year what has happened suddenly, that where only we were getting 4 or 7 people, suddenly we have so many people. While they used to go to all kinds of false gurus, pay them money and get injured or get into recluseness, or all kinds of things would happen to them. But this time I was surprised all over America, there's a kind of an awakening and people are becoming more alert about it. All these things happen to you for which you don't have to pay. For all the knowledge, you don't have to pay. You have to just attend our collectivity. Means we have our centers, so please come to our centers and where they will give you all the knowledge about it. You can master it maximum within 1 month's time. You just become masters. Now you may say, Mother, it is very fantastic to hear about ourselves. But you don't know how fantastic you are. Like you take a small little box of a television to some remote village. All the people will say, what is this? Is just a box. You tell them that there is going to be, you can easily see lots of films in it. They won't believe. Once it is connected only, that they'll be amazed at the television, the way it is showing all kinds of things. Because it is built in. And also it is built in you. All this is there, which is within you, which you can easily verify it. It's absolutely tangible. And then you know the value of your life. And then you know the purpose of your life. This is what it is. In this short time, I don't know how much I can tell you about it. Now you have here beautiful lights and beautifully they are lit up. You have to use only one switch. It all comes up. If I have to tell you the history of electricity, how it came to this country, then to your city and all that, it would be very boring. But if it is built in, why not have the light? So I would say that you should have the light and you should know what you are. First you get that light and then we will see about the rest of the knowledge that you can easily get when you go to our centers and they will give you. I have to confess that we don't take any money, so we do not have elaborate places like Taj Mahal to have our programs. It's simple abodes. And in simple places, you have to come with a simple mind to achieve your spiritual life. That's what it is. Today, I do not know that what it is that we are now in the blossom time, as I call it. Because many flowers are born and they are to become the fruits. This is the resurrection time, which is described in all the scriptures. But it's not like this, the way they had described was something wrong with them, that all the dead bodies who are in the graves will come out of the graves. I mean, how much is left out of them, God knows. Must be some bones or maybe some skulls there. So they'll come out of the graves and they will get their resurrection. This is a very wrong idea. Once I happened to meet a fellow, a Muslim from Bosnia, and he told me, I want to die for my religion, for God's sake. I said, but why? Who told you to die? He said, now if I die in the name of God, I'll be resurrected. I said, it's all wrong. That's not the way it is going to work out. Resurrection is going to work out this way, that at this time, all these souls will take their birth. All these souls will take their birth and they will be resurrected. As human beings, they'll have to come. So that's why we find all kinds of funny people these days. All kinds of cruel, criminal, all kinds of idiotic, stupid, I mean, very pure, weird, funny ideas. We find such a variety of people and such a tremendous population that we should understand they have to have their chance of resurrection. But how many will come? That's the point. How many are going to come? Now see, in your Philadelphia, there are so many people. How many are here? And how many are going to get realization? And how many are going to settle down? Depends on their wisdom and depends on their understanding of spirituality. If they don't have, you cannot force on them. You cannot force self-realization on them. Never. It has to be accepted in their own freedom. They have to ask for it. It cannot be forced. This power that you see is a power of pure desire. If you don't have pure desire, it won't rise. All other desires are such that they are never satiable in general. So, this desire that you have within, you may be aware of it or may not be, but it is there. And once it is awakened, such a satisfaction settles in you. You are very satisfied with yourself, and life becomes so beautiful. And the friendship, because I heard this is a brotherly and a sisterly place. I was very happy to hear that. That is what exactly Sahaja Yoga is. Such love. Now I told you there are 55 nations which are following Sahaja Yoga. But when you see one Sahaja Yogi meeting another one, I mean, you really feel, what is this? How it is happening? How they are achieving it? It's not easy to understand such love, such pure love. We never had any case of flirting or any case of any woman running away there with some another husband or something. It's never seen that. They are so innocent and so simple. Just like children they become, and the way they behave towards each other is beautiful to see. This is a new race of angels. My husband always said that I know you are an angel, you are something great. But I don't think you can make others. He was sure about it. Now he says that I have to believe and I have to say, yes, it is so, because if you have to be honest, you see those things. You all can become that. Just have self-confidence about it. That you all can become that. All these powers are within you, and that nobody can take away these powers from you. Now, I don't know if I find people who would like to ask me questions. I don't mind answering any number of questions. But I must tell you, for the last 23 years, I've been doing this job. I know how to answer all questions. I'm quite an expert. But it's a mental acrobat. What's the use? It's a mental acrobat. If you ask me questions, I'll answer, no doubt. I'm quite good at it. But the best thing is first to get the light. After getting the light, then you see for yourself and understand that it is all there. But if you want, should we ask them to ask questions? About 15 minutes are still there. Yes, please. इस तरफ से आओ.
Do you advocate meditation?
No, please be seated. It's a very good question. You see, meditation cannot be done. You are in meditation. When you are thoughtlessly aware, you are in meditation. Otherwise, we say we are doing meditation. You can't do it. You have to go beyond the mind. Then you are in a meditative condition. So there is meditation, but where you have to become thoughtlessly aware. Huh? Oh, very good. What a nice question. That's a seeker. That's a seeker. Yeah. Yes, sir?
You mentioned about desire. Desire, because there is one of the channels going along the line of this.
Talking about the channel of desire.
Huh?
Channel of desire. Go ahead.
Yeah, and how is this related to, because, that desires for the world desires, and desires for spirituality. How would you separate them?
He wants to know about the different types of desires, the desires related to
different
the
types of?
the worldly desires and the spiritual desires. How would you differentiate? He's mixed up.
All right. How do
He's asking about the relationship of desires to bhakti.
desires to be?
Bhakti.
All right, please be seated. So I'll answer your first question, the second question first. Bhakti. We are doing bhakti now of God. Without connection, what is the bhakti? It's like a telephone. Without connection, you are telephoning to God. He doesn't listen to you. Many people come to me, they say, Mother, I have done so much bhakti of Sri Krishna, but my throat is bad and I have got cancer of the throat. If you say Sri Krishna looks after the throat, why is it so? Because you are not yet connected. If you are not connected, what's the use doing bhakti? Simple thing, extremely simple. What was the first question?
The different types of desires, the worldly desires and the
All right. Now people are saying that you must give up this, you must give up that. There's nothing to be given up. If you give up, still you stick on to that. I have known people who are very much stuck, but they think they have given up. Like I'll tell you, some people came to see me, they wanted to use our ships for some purpose. And they said that they came in an ascetic dress, and they said, Mother, you are supposed to be a holy person, but you are sitting in all luxury and all this. How are you a holy person? We have given up our houses, we have given up our cars, given up this, given up that. I said, all right. In this house, or anything which is with me, is equal to the dust particle of God Almighty, of His feet. You can pick up anything, but should be equal. They started looking around. They have not given up anything. They have given up stones. A detachment develops within yourself. I don't know if you have heard the story of Raja Janaka, whose guru was Ashtavakra. Raja Janaka was the father-in-law of Sri Ram. This Raja Janaka was a king, and all the saints used to bow to him. So one fellow asked his guru, why is it you bow to this king? He is a king, and what is so great? He said, he's the only one who can give realization, and he's so high. So he sent one of his disciples, his name was Nachiketa, to Raja Janaka. Raja Janaka told him, no, you can ask anything, but I'll not give you self-realization. He said, no, sir, I must have it. I want to know about myself. So he said, all right. So first he took him with himself to have a bath in the river. I mean, many tests he took, but lastly. And there he was having his bath, while people came and told that, sir, he was meditating. He was in thoughtless awareness, just enjoying himself. And they came and told that your palace is on fire. Still he was meditating. Then they came and told him that now all the family is running away from the palace. Still he was meditating. Then they said the fire is coming here and will burn everything that you have. Now this fellow ran out and he clutched his clothes because he thought this will be all burned. But he was still meditating. And then when he opened his eyes, he saw nothing has happened. I know nothing has happened. And it's nothing important to me. So the detachment is within, it's not without. You don't have to announce it. It is within. It's something that you do everything. As I knew, I am a grandmother, I am a mother, I am a wife, my husband was holding a very big position, all that I did everything. But there's a kind of a detachment about it. And this detachment can only be possible if you develop your spiritual powers. When your spirit shines, you see everything is useless and fruitless. But by giving up things, by renouncing things, You are just pampering your ego by saying, I've given up this, I've given up that. The other day I met a Buddhist who was a seeker. He was all shaved off, his hair was shaved off. And he said, Mother, I am not only shaved off, but I am now a bankrupt. I said, why? Because I was giving all my money, everything to this Buddhist organization. And now I'm bankrupt. And I don't know what to do with myself. I said, how can you pay? God doesn't understand money, no? He doesn't understand banking. It's your headache. You have made money, you have made banks, you have made these houses. What is there if you give up or don't give up? What difference does it make? It's your doing. All right? So, the detachment must come from within. And that is so automatic. It's a state which we have to achieve in our evolution. What are they? Boliye. क्या कर
अपनी बीवी के बिहाफ पे क्वेश्चन पूछ
हाँ?
रहा है, अपनी बीवी के बारे में क्वेश्चन पूछा है, आई नहीं है
कहिए
मंत्र आपके गो है कहिए इट्स ऑल राइट
While doing Sahaja Yoga, for my wife, she gets the mantra given to her by her previous guru. Should she continue with that mantra or try to eliminate it? That's the first part of the question. Second part of the question is, she gets sensation, burning sensation on her fingertips.
क्या कर
कहते हैं उनकी बीवी ने क्वेश्चन पूछवाया है कि सहयोग करना चाहती हैं, उनको किसी ने एक मंत्र दिया था, तो मंत्र उनको वो मंत्र कहना चाहिए कि नहीं, और दूसरी चीज़ है उनकी उंगलियों पे जलन होती है,
हाँ
तो वो ठीक है कि नहीं?
नहीं नहीं if she is saying mantra, she should not say. You see, mantras, please be seated, I'll tell you. Mantras are, there's a science about it. You must know what center is out of gear, which mantra to be set for which center. It is not at random like you take out the whole Pandora box and start taking all the medicines. No, you must know everything. And if her fingers are burning, it's not a very good sign. And I wish she had come here, I would have seen to her. But where is the, where do you live?
You only come to big cities like Philadelphia, poor cities like Cincinnati.
क्या करें?
सिंसिनाटी से आए
We had to come long.
She's in Cincinnati? She's in Cincinnati? We have a center in Cincinnati. Yes, yes, they are all here. So I will tell them what is to be done for her. She can be cured. It's not a good sign because maybe the guru she has taken was not all right. Is it on the left hand or right hand? Huh?
The guru was an authority on Shaivism. She's asking, was the burning on the left hand or the right hand?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. Shaivite guru.
Huh?
Shaivite guru.
You see, I don't want to say anything, but something wrong with the guru himself, I think. I'm sorry. अब दूसरों को पूछने दीजिए एक जरा इनसे. Yes. पूरा नहीं सुनाई देता मुझे.
कह रहे हैं कि
क्या कह रहे हैं?
उनका लड़का साथ में बैठा है, she's praying for his enlightenment and vision. उनके साथ बैठे हैं.
All right, very good idea. But I have so many children here. All right? Good. Yeah, पूछिए.
Could you further explain the thoughtless awareness, and is it the same as mindful awareness of the Buddhist philosophy?
Just. Yeah.
The difference between thoughtless awareness and mindful awareness.
Yes, the same. But you see, Buddhism is very confused, as every religion has been, very much confused. And so, I don't know what they are thinking about it, but it's the same thing. is the same thing as thoughtless awareness, should be the same thing. And also, many things Buddha has said has been misused and have been, I should say, quite twisted also. So to understand Buddhism, you take to Sahaja Yoga first. Once you get your realization, sir, you will understand Buddhism much better. In the sense that it should not be Buddhism, but it is Buddha's. Bodha. Bodha means to know on your central nervous system. You become a Buddha yourself. You become yourself the enlightened person. All right? Now what's it?
He's asking about any dangers with Kundalini meditation.
No, not at all. Not at all. She is your mother. She is your individual mother. Who gives you your second birth? She knows everything about you. She has recorded everything, and she does it very gently. See, when you were born, your mother took all the pains upon herself, isn't it? And in the same way, this Kundalini does the job. But people are frightened because perhaps maybe they don't want. It's an evil force, I think, those who are frightened against Kundalini, because they don't know how to do it. Or maybe they don't want people to achieve their realization. I can't understand. Those people, as I was telling you today, in the 16th century, Guru Nanaka, then Kabira, and all these others, Ramadasa, Tukarama, all of them, nobody has said it's dangerous. On the contrary, Ramadasa was asked, how much time does it take for Kundalini to rise? He used the word in Sanskrit, Tat Kshana. That's the moment. That moment, he said. Tat Kshana, that moment. So, but he said there's a condition. The one who wants should be anxious to have it, and the one who gives should be an authority. Not authority from some university or anything, but authority in spirituality. Yes?
Yes?
In activating the Kundalini within the body, can it only be done in the position that's posted on that sheet there, or can it be done standing or in other positions?
What is it?
तो कुंडलिनी जागरण के लिए बैठना जरूरी है या खड़े होके या किसी और पोजीशन में भी जागृत हो जाएगी?
No. You see, it is all right, you can do it. But why do all that? You have to be comfortably sitting in your chair and you'll get your realization. You don't have to go to Himalayas to stand on your head. It's just simple.
कुंडलिनी जागरण का प्रोसेस क्या है?
Is sahaj, is spontaneous. It's like any living process. All right?
Why is there so much heartache and grief when we fall in love?
He says, when we fall in love, why is there so much heartache and grief?
Because you fall. You should rise. What's another behind that? Somebody else?
Life after death.
Yes, that is all right. You see, I must have given lots of lecture on that point also. I will be amazed. I must have spoken I don't know how many times, but at least there are 4,000 tapes of mine, and this subject also I've dealt with. But what I'm saying today is that let us be in the present. Why worry about the death? All right? Is there anybody else? Yes, please.
What is the connection between sex and Kundalini?
Good.
And would you say something about 8?
Now, here you see this red chakra is the Muladhara chakra. It's the first chakra is for innocence. Our innocence is never lost. We may do anything what we like. It is covered, like a sky can be covered with lots of clouds. Kundalini is placed above, you see. So it has nothing to do with sex, because this is the last center, the seventh center or the first center, whatever you may call it, is the center of excretion, of sex and everything. It has nothing to do with sex. On the contrary, you become innocent like a child. When the Kundalini is rising, all these actions of excretion stop completely, and all the force of our innocence helps the Kundalini to rise. It has no relationship at all at that time. But I don't say that there's something wrong in all these things, but there has to be some sanctity about it. Should be some sense. People become extremely sensible after marriage, even about sex life. AIDS have been cured with Sahaja Yoga, no doubt. No doubt. But the patients of AIDS are of two categories I've seen. One who think they are martyrs, they have achieved a great, some sort of a big country or some sort of a thing like that. They feel very enthusiastic about it. And the another kind are the ones who don't want to live. Absolutely, just they don't want to live. So there are two types of people who suffer from AIDS mostly. Very few you find they are in between. So we got hold of 5 of them somehow in Australia. Out of them, one was a married couple who got all right, and one fellow who got all right. This is 9 years back. He's still all right. But 2 of them again went to some funny habits, or I don't know what they did. The father of one of them told me that, "Mother, you just forgive them." And I don't know what happened. They again got back their AIDS. So it's a very difficult area in which one has to work, because they cannot be convinced that they can be cured, and some of them think that they don't. What's wrong? You see, this is the greatest mantra of the West. What's wrong? You tell them anything, what's wrong? These punks were putting some sort of a horrible color, so they're becoming blind. I told them, why do you put these horrible colors on your head? Because you are becoming blind. What's wrong? I said, you'll become blind. He said, what's wrong? I mean, I just don't know how to answer these people. Very queer, isn't it? They are bent upon destroying themselves. They like to destroy. You see, the people who just want to destroy themselves. I don't know from where this idea of destruction has come, instead of constructing yourself, enjoying life, anything, looking to higher goals. They always see to something filthy, dirty, something that is absolutely inhuman, subhuman. I don't know how these tendencies have grown. Cancer, of course. Many types of cancers have been cured. We have blood cancer. Some of them were told that you will die within 1 month's time, because doctors, are honest and they give a certificate. You are going to die after 1 month. This happened with one gentleman, at least 8 or 9 years back. He's still all right. And there are 3 of them like that who are perfectly all right. There's so many who have been cured, so many. So this cure takes place. But also, if you see, if God has any common sense, why should He cure people who are not going to give light? Most of them, they want to get cured and get lost. They are cured to give light to others. We don't repair lamps which are not going to give light. But in compassion, I think God does that. All right.
He wants to be really impatient.
Acha. Now there's somebody else. Now one more question. Now, yeah.
She's She's asking about the psychic phenomena, one thing, and she says when she's in nature, she's more at peace with herself. It's a relationship.
That's, you see, nothing so great. If you are in nature, anybody can feel peaceful. It's like when you have everything fine, you enjoy it, isn't it? But when you are in Philadelphia, you should feel peaceful. Or in New York. It's also more difficult.
When the Kundalini arises, is it a state which stays or you all the time have to fight for it?
मेरे तो सुनाई नहीं देती इनकी भाषा.
कुंडलनी जागरण होता है तो उस स्टेट में हमेशा रहती है या
That's a good question. You see, it is like a connection, as I said. Some people, once they get connection, they are connected. And they grow faster and faster. But some people have a loose connection also. So it's best is to get your connection done properly. From that distance, all right. सुनाई दे रहा था?
What's the difference between who and Hare Krishna? Oh, here, Saj Yoga and Hare Krishna.
Tremendous. You see, in India, everybody says to each other when they wish Hare Krishna or Hare Ram. Are they all going to go to God? Just understand. These are words. Get out of the webs of words. Shabda Jalam. Get out of the webs of words. All right? Also get out of books. Too much reading books also makes you mad. I tell you, it's really true. Kabir Das has said, Padi Padi Pandita Murakha Bhai, means by reading too much, even the learned became stupid. Now, one.
How do you know if your center is blocked?
What's it?
How do you know if your center is blocked?
I or you?
No, you, she.
You will know on your fingertips, all right? In English language, there are certain things very good on your fingertips. But also English language is little limited for spirituality because spirit is Atma, is the spirit I'm talking about. Spirit is a dead spirit, dead body. It is also alcohol, you see, out of these three. I'm talking about which spirit people ask me. So, but fingertips, you know.
Yeah.
Huh? थोड़ा होगा.
She's saying जब कुंडलनी जागरण होता है तो सर के ऊपर से ठंडी हवा आती है.
हाँ.
उनको मूलाधार में गर्मी लगती है तो उसका क्या मतलब है? कहते हैं number 1 chakra is heat.
It's a little private question. I'll answer you privately. All right? Who else is there?
Yes, go ahead and ask.
Now so many are there still.
If you yourself had a question, what question would you hold somebody would ask you that nobody ever asks you?
Yeah.
कह रहे हैं अगर आपके पास कोई सवाल होता तो वो कैसा क्वेश्चन होता है जिसने कभी आपसे पूछा ना हो, तो वो कौन सा क्वेश्चन हो? Says if you had a question that nobody else had asked you, what would be that question?
I didn't follow.
What are you trying to ask?
I can ask you a different way.
Yes.
If you are in the light,
Yes.
what question do you think the light?
Saying if you're in the light, what question would the light have?
Light has no question, it has to give light. How can it have question? You are already enlightened, so better give light to others. Yes, please.
How can we improve our psychic or spiritual experience?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. First you get your realization, and then you have to go to our centers, and you'll be amazed. We have many here who are realized souls. They look like you, but you can see the glow on their face. You see, now this Marathi song is such a difficult one, even a Sanskrit song. How can these people from America sing it? Just tell me. Yes, sir?
Shwanaji, is the spiritual heart and the physical heart the same?
Yes. In the physical heart resides the spiritual heart. Now, I think we have had too many. You want to ask?
You have a question?
She has already asked now. Who else has not asked can ask, please.
What is the soul?
That also is another big question for which I have a big tape which you can go through and see for yourself. It will take another lecture, all right? Who else? क्या कह रहे हैं?
पूछ रहे हैं सवाल। इससे आँखें ठीक हो जाएंगी क्या?
हाँ?
आँखों की प्रॉब्लम कैटरैक्ट है वो ठीक होगा?
हाँ, cataract नहीं होता. One person has been, but you see, this cataract is something dead. If anything that's dead, we cannot do it because it's dead. But anything that is living and in a jeopardy can be cured. All right? One did, but he was a child. He was a child. Madam, you asked a question, all right? Now, what's that? There. No, not you. She's there at the side.
जिनको मेंटल डिसऑर्डर है वो ठीक हो सकते हैं?
हाँ, of course. Schizophrenia, all kinds, epilepsy, lunacy, yes, of course. Depression, of course. Yes. Works out. You know, पूछा सवाल. You have asked a question already.
कहते हैं किसी people who have birth defects, who don't have complete bodies, can they become whole?
Yes, some can be, not all. But it's not important, you see. It's not a hospital. I'm just telling you. It's not a hospital. With your own power, you cure yourself. The main attention should be on the spirit, not on the body so much. Some people have definitely been cured. His sister-in-law was spastic, she got cured. But some are not, because they just don't do it, they don't follow it. And what important thing is that don't put your attention to the physical side so much, or to the mental side. Just now we have to achieve our spiritual goal. Yes, please. क्या कह रहे हैं? हाँ, अब स्टॉप करें. क्या फरमा?
He's asking a lot of questions are relating to suffering, and then he's asking about Jesus, how he suffered and he rose again from the dead.
Sufferings are because of ignorance. That's all I'll say in a small sentence. All right? And if you want to get out of it, you get the knowledge. Knowledge on your central nervous system.
Can we have the realization now?
Now, I think we should stop it because you have asked too many questions and I've answered them. Actually, you see, as I told you, it's a mental acrobat. And I can answer most of the questions very well. But it is of no use as far as Sahaja Yoga is concerned. Mostly I've seen people who ask too many questions walk off. They just come here to ask questions and then just walk off. So again, I request you to put your attention on yourself and on your own spirit and on your own benevolence. Now don't think of anything else. You might have read a lot, you might have known a lot, and it's all right, you are worried about the whole world, doesn't matter. Now please, this is the time, you give some time to yourself and worry about yourself. So now we can have a realization. Your freedom, and those who don't want to have realization should leave the hall, because it's civil. Others who want to have, please be seated. You're welcome, and I'm sure it will all work out. Another request is that you have to take out your shoes for a short time, because this Mother Earth helps us a lot. Now, whatever we are going to do it, that is for only tonight. You don't have to repeat it again. So there's no need to write, there's nothing to worry. Just you have to see that it works out. Only thing I have to make a humble request, that during meditation, don't walk out or don't disturb. As you know, there are two powers, one on the left and the right, two sympathetic nervous systems. So we put both our feet apart from each other, left and right. Left is the power of desire. Please be seated. Will you please be seated? No, you have to sit down, please. उसी में जिद करेंगे. ऐसे लोग. All right. Left hand towards me on your lap. I have again said that you have to be comfortable, but you should not slouch. You have to be comfortable. Please put left hand towards me. If anything tight on your stomach, वो माँ से खड़े ही दरवाजे में. If you don't want to attend, you can go out. Now, you have your left hand towards me, which is symbolic that you want to have or you desire to have your self-realization. That you have to keep all the time like that. If you have anything tight here or tight here, little bit loosen it. Yeah, if you are comfortable, it's all right. If you are comfortable. Main thing is you should not be uncomfortable with anything. Now, we use this right hand for action, means nourishing our centers. We have to nourish our centers ourselves. So now put your right hand on your heart. You can put it under the coat, need not be under the sweater, under the coat. Now, in the heart, just now keep your eyes open so you can see what you have to do. In the heart resides the spirit. Now, if you become the spirit, in the light of the spirit, you are your own guide. You are your own master. So take your right hand on the left hand side of your abdomen on the upper portion. We are only working on the left hand side. This is the center of your mastery, created by the great prophets. Now take your hand in the low portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. This is the center of pure divine knowledge. Surprisingly, it is here. Pure divine knowledge. Then raise your hand again on top of your abdomen, the upper portion on the left hand side, and press it hard. Now raise your hand again on the heart. Now put your hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder and turn your head to your right. This center goes into jeopardy when you feel guilty. I'll tell about this later on. Now raise your hand on your forehead across and put down your head. This is the center for forgiving everyone, even without thinking about them. Now take your right hand on the back side of your head. Push back your head, and here you have to ask forgiveness from the divine power for your own satisfaction. Now the last center is stretch your palm. Now put the center of your palm on top of your fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood, and put down your head. Here, push back your fingers. This is very important. So there's a good pressure on your scalp. Now, please put down your head and move your scalp 7 times clockwise slowly. Please put down your heads. Put down your heads. Can do it better. Put down your heads. And push it. Push back your fingers. Very important, yes. Push back. Now, put down your head and push back your fingers so there's a good pressure on your scalp. That's all we have to do. Now, there are 3 conditions which I'll tell you, which are very simple ones. The first condition is that you all have to be absolutely confident that you'll all get your self-realization. Please take down your hands. You all have to be absolutely confident that you will get your self-realization tonight. That means that you are not to feel guilty at all. That means forget your past. Whatever wrong you have done, whatever mistakes you have committed, will be dissolved by this power of divine love, because it is the ocean of forgiveness. So you have to forgive yourself. And you don't know when you feel guilty what happens. If you have committed mistakes, it's all right. After all, you are human beings, you are not gods. You face the mistakes, finished off there. What you do, you carry that here onto this center here. Thus you get spondylitis, cervical cancer, angina, or lethargic organs. So what's the use of carrying this myth with you all the time? For something that happened long time back, you're carrying still. Please know you are not guilty at all. At this moment, you are not guilty at all. I assure you, you are not guilty. Let the Kundalini judge you. You don't judge yourself. All right. The second condition is that you have to forgive everyone without even thinking about it. You have to forgive everyone. Now, many people say it's difficult to forgive. Whether you forgive or you don't forgive, you don't do anything. What do you do if you don't forgive? But when you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands and you torture yourself while the person who has troubled you or hurt you is happy. But you are torturing yourself all your life. Now, at this moment, this center is very important because if it is not all right, the Kundalini won't rise. And also the center between the optic chiasma, which is like this, is absolutely constricted. It won't open. But when you forgive, it opens. So as it is, you have tortured yourself all your life by not forgiving. And at this important moment, you lose the chance of your self-realization. So just forgive everything, everybody, everything, even without thinking about them. We can say forgive them in general. All right. In short, you have to be pleasantly placed towards yourself because you are human beings. You are at the epitome of evolution. You don't know what you are. So please don't condemn yourself. Don't in any way get angry with yourself. It's a very simple thing that will happen to you and you will be amazed at your own greatness. So now please put your left hand on your left lap and also both the feet away from each other. Now, please put the right hand on your heart. And now close your eyes. You can take out your spectacles also because your eyesight might improve. Now please put your right hand on your heart. Here you have to ask in your heart a question which is very fundamental. You can call me Mother or you can call me Shri Mataji. Please ask 3 times, Mother, am I the Spirit? Ask this question. Mother, am I the Spirit? Three times. I have told you, when you become the Spirit, you become your guide, your master. So now, please take your right hand, the upper portion of your abdomen and press it hard. Here, you have to say, again 3 times, ask a question which is very fundamental. Mother, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times. Now please take your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen. Here, the center has got 6 petals, so you have to ask 6 times. I must say, I cannot force pure divine knowledge on you. You have to ask for it. So please ask 6 times. Mother, please give me pure divine knowledge. In your heart, everything to be asked in your heart. Mother, please give me pure divine knowledge. Now, as soon as you ask for pure divine knowledge, the Kundalini starts rising. So we have to nourish the higher centers with our full self-confidence. So now raise your right hand, the upper portion of your abdomen. On the left hand side and here, you have to say with full self-confidence, Mother, I am my own master. Say it 10 times. Mother, I am my own master. I've already told you that you are not this body, this mind, this ego, these conditionings, but you are the pure spirit. So please raise your right hand on top of your heart, and here you have to say 12 times with full confidence, Mother, I am the pure spirit. Do not say any mantras or anything and don't try to concentrate. Just leave your attention free. The Kundalini will push it. So you just don't have to put any efforts about it. This all-pervading power is the ocean of compassion, is the ocean of knowledge, is the ocean of bliss and joy, but above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. So whatever mistakes you might have committed are easily dissolved into this power of ocean of forgiveness. So please forgive yourself and raise your hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder and turn your head to your right. This is the center, which is very bad today. I think that you feel guilty. So please say with full confidence, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Please say it with full confidence. "16 times you have to say. I have already told you logically, whether you forgive or don't forgive, you don't do anything. But if you don't forgive, then you play into wrong hands. Especially at this moment, you have to forgive because the center of Agya is very constricted and it won't open and your Kundalini won't rise. So it's very important now that you have to forgive. So raise your right hand on top of your forehead across and please put down your head. Here you have to say, from your heart, not how many times. Mother, I forgive everyone in general. Don't think about them. Just say it. Please put down your head. Now, please take your right hand on the back side of your head and push back your head. Here, without feeling guilty, without counting your mistakes, just for your satisfaction, you have to say, "O divine power, please forgive me if I have done any mistakes knowingly or unknowingly. O divine power, please forgive me if I have done any mistakes knowingly or unknowingly." Say it from your heart, not how many times. Please say it from your heart. Now, please touch your palm. Please touch your palm of the right hand and put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Now, this is important that you push back your fingers. So there's a good pressure on your scalp. Now please put down your head. Here again, I cannot force Sahaja Yoga on you. I cannot force self-realization on you. So please move your scalp 7 times clockwise, saying, "Mother, please give me my self-realization." Now, please take down your hand. Open your eyes. Please open your eyes and wear your glasses. Put both the hands towards me like this, little higher. Now watch me without thinking. Just watch me without thinking. Now, put this right hand towards me like this. Bend your head and see with your left hand there's a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Please bend your head. Or maybe hot. Please see that there's a hot or a cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Please don't put your hand on top of your head, but away from it. And now see for yourself if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming from your head. Now, put your left hand towards me like this, and again bend your head and see with your right hand now if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your head. Sometimes it comes very far, sometimes closer. If it is hot, means you have not forgiven or you are still feeling guilty. So please do it. All the heat is coming out. Now see for yourself. All right. Now, right hand you put it towards me. And now with the left hand, you see for the last time, put down your head properly and see properly if there's a cool or a hot breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area. Now, please put both the hands towards the sky and push back your head. Here, you have to ask any one of these three questions 3 times. Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Or, Mother, is this the all-pervading power of God's love, the Ruh? Or is it the Paramachaitanya? Just ask any one of these questions 3 times. Now please put down your heads. All those who have felt cool or hot breeze on their fingertips or on their palms or in their hands or out of their fontanelle bone area, please raise both your hands. You didn't get?
I've been healed of AIDS.
Huh?
I said I've been healed of AIDS, the sickness, and
All right. Acha, I'll talk to you later. Sit down. All right. Just a minute.
thank you very much.
All right. He's suffering from AIDS, he said. All right. Again, please raise all of you. I have not seen all of you. See the whole of Philadelphia. It's so great. Most of you. 1 or 2 didn't get, doesn't matter, but they will get it also. So I bow to you all. Look after your saintliness. Now become saints. I bow to all the saints. You're all realized souls now. And enjoy yourself. You can feel each other's. You can feel on the head of each other. The cool breeze on the hands. You didn't get this gentleman? It's all right, they'll tell you. Can you come out, please? Inko, just have a look. You've got it, but you don't feel it. I think you used to smoke. Maybe. Thank you very much. I'll be coming after 1 year. I have to make a request and you have to promise me that you will go to our centers and you'll enrich yourself with the knowledge and you'll grow. The next time when I come, I see all these huge big trees grown out of these seeds. May God bless. उसको क्या बोला हो?
शिवाजी जी वो कह रहा था उसको
don't know what to say. Bring it चलाइए.
Hi, Werner. Come on. Yeah.
Wonderful people, I must say. Cincinnati has a problem. It's all right. It's very good.